Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? KMB, the sexy ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios and the Paper Saber universe. Welcome to the Sexy Ninjacast. It's been a minute. I am sorry. There's just been so much professional wrestling to cover for the New World podcast. Taking my time, but now that WrestleMania is behind us, I can get back to dropping some Sexy Ninjacast for that ass. And what is the Sexy Ninjacast? It's all my love, all my passions, all my interests. And everything that's been going on in the Star Wars world, because they just had Star Wars Celebration. Big news coming out of that. We got Visions season volume 2, they're calling it, and Visions is these little animated shorts with anime style and stuff like that. I just got done seeing the trailer and it's like, man, those look cool, man. I love the first Visions. I also have in that first book they came out, the Ronin book, that came out from that series. That's such a great. It's so fun. It's like that's one. Well, that was one of my favorites. So when they dropped the novel of that story, novel of that character, I was just like, yeah, you ain't no Jedi. You're like, oh shit. Also too, you got the Young Jedi Adventures, the little kid show that's gonna be on Disney Junior. That looks fun. So I saw a comment. Someone was like, yeah, and after the end of their adventures with these four Jedis, there's gonna, well, I think 3 are Jedis and 1's not, but after the end, it's gonna line up right with the Revenge of the Sith when the temple's being attacked, the Jedi temple's being attacked, and they're gonna be like, Anakin, no. I was like, oh, that went dark. I don't think they would do that with this show. Yoda's in here. This is during the prequel era, so it looks fun. I showed the kid. I was like, look, what do you think? Maybe we can watch this together. He's like, I'm like, fine. Hurts my feelings, but fine. But big stuff, man. They also announced that the Bad Batch, I'm looking at them right now, Hunter, Rekka, Tech, Crosshair, Echo, and Omega. The season's over. Great season. I still want to talk about it with Doug and our feelings of how they're going to go into season 3, which they got renewed for, and it's going to be their final season. Makes me sad because I love the Bad Batch, everything that's been going on with the Bad Batch and everything like that. And I've seen a lot of people hating for the sake of hating, and I just don't understand it. Let's go right into this one. The Mandalorian. Last week's episode caused a whole lot of uproar and ruckus for whatever reason I don't understand. Lizzo and Jack Black, Christopher Lloyd, star power there with cameos. I will say this: my real initial reaction to seeing Jack Black in Star Wars. Like, people say that I look like Jack Black. He's my spirit animal and all that, because I love Jack Black, Tenacious D all the way. When I saw him with that lovely beard of his, I was like, my wife was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, Jack Black is in Star Wars. I was like, holy shit. And first off, I didn't recognize her, but I was like, wait, is that Lizzo? And the wife's like, yeah, I saw the spoilers for all this beforehand before we watched it. I was like, why'd you do that? She goes, TikTok, the internet, Twitter. I was like, I stay off those things for a reason. I'm like, when it's Mando Wednesdays and was previously Bad Batch Wednesdays, I would stay off of that so bad. I'd be like, nope, can't have me do this, because we got May 4th coming up. May the 4th be with us here shortly. Is going to be huge because they're going to drop Visions and they're going to drop that little Young Jedi show. But going into the Mandalorian, this last episode that caused, we have 2 episodes left. The uproar of this last episode is kind of silly to me. I'm just like, why are we hating? People are hating this last episode. They're like, this isn't the Mandalorian. I was like, the only thing personally, like, my wife asked me, she's like, what did you think of this? I was like, I actually liked it. It was cool. She liked this episode as well. And I go, it felt very Clone Wars-y. She was like, I don't know what that means. I was like, yeah, you don't watch Clone Wars, but the episode felt very Clone Wars. It was about these droids and that are defected, and you got this awesome chase scene and stuff like that. The whole Bo-Katan, and the actual the Mandalorian storyline going on with her wielding the Darksaber. That was my only complaint of that episode. Had nothing to do with Lizzo, nothing to do with Jack Black. I actually enjoyed those two characters, and I enjoyed that Baby Yoda just thinks with his stomach. That's what sweet Grogu does. Where Din Djarin was like, no, he doesn't really take kind. Ooh, hey, what's up? I'm your best friend. I thought that was adorable. And Christopher Lloyd obviously being the bad guy, which was I called. I was like, I bet you it's him because he's being real difficult and giving them the information they wanted. And I had a lot of fun with this episode. Like I said, my only complaint was the technicality thing. Like, well, maybe technically, I did get defeated by this crazy robot thingy, and she did wield the dark saber to defeat that thing that defeated me. So technically, I have the dark saber, and I'm leading the Mandalorians. And everyone's like, yeah, that checks out. That checks out. And then Bo-Katan lights up the dark saber, and I was just like, oh, okay. That I think that was my only problem with the episode. That was my only problem because I was like a lot of like, yeah, well, technically, I did this. Technically, because I just don't think he wanted it anymore. He was just trying to find some way to. Because remember when he got the dark saber and he was all like, yeah, well, fucking take it. It's like, you got to win it in battle, and he's like, well, I don't want it. Just fucking take it. And she's like, no, you can't, and I do though feel that this season is very inconsistent with itself. Like it's not as a tight niche as the first two seasons. I will admit that. Not everything's perfect, but I think once we get to the finale, we're all gonna be like, oh, I want more Mandalorian, and then it's gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have bitched because now it's over, the ride's over. Like, that's all what happened all with last season. Well, this previous season of the Bad Batch. Every episode I enjoyed, and yeah, there was a lot of filler, there was a lot of this, there was a lot of that, but I was like, I'm with a little part of my family. Like Star Wars means so much to me that I look forward to these escapes. I look forward to go to a galaxy far, far away, and I won't lie, with all the professional wrestling I've been covering, man, I'm going to tell you, I when I finished Bad Batch a couple days ago, I finished the entire season. I was like, oh, that Star Wars itch was itching like crazy. I felt like I was chafing like crazy because I wanted my Star Wars. I need to be in, I was watching the episodes of Mandalorian, but I got up, did the NXT review, all these things. As much as I love professional wrestling, my Star Wars itch was itching hard. And so I was like, you know what? Take a step back real quick. Let's get back in order. WrestleMania's over. I'm going to get caught up on Star Wars. Star Wars Celebration is coming up. There's going to be a lot of news coming out of that. And they delivered a lot of great news, especially 3 new movies. Finally, we're getting Star Wars back on the big screen. And they dropped the Ahsoka trailer. We got Skeleton Crew. We got Acolyte. We got season 2 of Andor. It's just like, damn. A lot of Star Wars in the next year and a half. Right here, I'm looking at a thing at Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023. Kathleen Kennedy announced that there's going to be 3 movies. They got the 3 directors and everything like that. But the thing that was funny is like, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath whatsoever, because how many times have we been told, here's the dates, here's the new Star Wars films, here's Rian Johnson's getting his trilogy, and we're doing this, we're doing that. And it's like, nope. So first up, James Mangold is going to do a Star Wars movie. He just did Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. We'll see how he does with that movie. They said this movie, Indiana Jones, is going to be the final one. I was like, I'm okay with that, because after the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull put a bad taste in all our mouths, I haven't met one person who's like, that movie's so fantastic. I'm like, that scene when they're in the trees and the monkeys and stuff like that looks so terrible. Then the skull itself being alien, I will say though, you should watch the documentary on that. That's probably one of my favorite behind the scenes documentaries, next to the behind the scenes documentary for Batman and Robin. Because if you watch the Batman and Robin one, they're like, yeah, the movie could have done this. Well, we're not saying it's a bad movie. And in Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Steven's like, yeah, I really didn't want to do another one. The whole point of the third movie where they're riding off into the sunset is supposed to be like adios, Indiana Jones, bye, Dr. Jones, goodbye to this world. And of course, they had the young Indiana Jones adventures, but George was really adamant about like, we need to do another one. And he's talking about it. He's like, yeah, it's not aliens, it's intergalactic something. I don't know the word or term he used. And Steven's like, well, we'll find somebody else to direct it. And they couldn't find anybody. Then Steven Spielberg, like, basically his arm got twisted. He's like, and then George was like, and Steven was very like, I really don't want to do this. And I just did Close Encounters, already done E.T., already done my alien movies. And that's when George kind of did the twisting of the words of what the term alien movie was in this version of the Indiana Jones story. Then he got Harrison Ford involved because Harrison Ford just loves fucking Indiana Jones. And he's like, hey, Steven, I think he's got a good idea. And Steven's like, God damn it. So go watch that. If you have the box set, they should have it attached to that movie behind the scenes. It's just such a fun story. Like, as much as the movie's not great, the behind the scenes stuff of it is fantastic, because it's just funny hearing Steven be like, yeah, I wasn't really going to do that. No, but George and Harrison kind of twist my arm. So here we are, James Mangold did Logan, one of my favorite movies of all time. Logan is near and dear to my heart. So when he got the Indiana Jones movie, I was like, ooh, James Mangold. Because James Mangold was also supposed to do the Boba Fett movie. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, because this is when everyone was announcing the Boba Fett movie, this movie, that movie, all these movies, blah, 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 this movie. And they're like, James Mangold's directing this one. It was like, oh shit, but with James Mangold on deck, his movie will go back to the dawn of the Jedi. So we're going way back, like before the prequels, maybe 100 years, maybe past the High Republic. They had a whole cool timeline of what was going on. So, and then we have everything with Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni's getting a theatrical movie. And what's funny too is, like, as I say these names, I get so excited. I'm like, oh my God, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Dave Filoni, the god, the king of Star Wars, the nerd himself, Clone Wars and everything like that, bringing us the Bad Batch and all this good Star Wars shit. I was like, he's getting it, man. One of us is taking the reins, and his movie will focus on the New Republic and close out the interconnected stories with the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and the other series, Skeleton Crew, that has what I can't think of Jude Law in it. We got Acolyte. So a lot of stuff down the pipe that Dave Filoni is going to pay off in this Avengers style type movie, I'm guessing. So this would be in the New Republic. And then we have Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who did Miss Marvel and has another project called Saving Face. Never seen that, but I did really enjoy Miss Marvel. I thought Miss Marvel was a fun time. To be really honest, I really did enjoy that show. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy that show. I know Doug didn't enjoy that show whatsoever, but I found it fun and delightful. But I'm excited, and her movie is going to be based on the new Jedi Order. We're going to get Rey. Daisy Ridley will be back as Rey. So I saw some concept art somebody sent to me where it looked like it was Rey on Tatooine holding her stomach, pregnant. Everyone, I was like, whoa, is this real? Is this not real? What's going on? It's all pure speculation. And it's funny, is like, I don't know if I'm that. Well, I'll finish it out. I was writing a story with Rey, and I brought it up on the podcast before. This was me on the social event. I think there's a little clip out there where I posted it. The story was called Burden. It was a story about Rey many years in the after the Battle of Exegol. It was going to be like Logan type style. She's trying to recreate the new Jedi Order, but keeps failing in attempts to build it on Tatooine. She's alone. She's got BB-8, who's on his last limbs and whatnot. I was going to kill off BB-8. That get an emotional moment from that. Chewie and Lando, they're out in the galaxy, still trying to pay off Han's debts. And we had I had Finn go off and like just kind of leave Rey, because there are still some First Order sleeper agents out there that he went and hunted down, and tried to find more of stormtroopers that were taken like he was. and finding the ones that are force sensitive and maybe possibly trying to recruit them so they can help Rey rebuild the new Jedi Order. Rey in this moment is feeling like she's failing. She's failing, and it's a burden. That's why I call the story Star Wars Burden. And it was a moment of like, I wanted her to like redeem herself, because after the rise of Skywalker, everyone and their grandmother was pissed when she was like, what's in that old weird lady out of nowhere? What's your name, Dad? Haven't heard your name. And she's like, I'm Rey Skywalker. I like that moment. I really do. I know she's Rey Palpatine to many, but I was all for it. I was like, but it was so funny. That moment was ruined by the one and only Doug. I'm sitting in the theater. I'm all like, oh, because I really like The Rise of Skywalker. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And then he leans over and goes, I bet you she's gonna say she's Rey Skywalker. And I was like, yeah. Oh, and then she said, I was like, God dang it, man. I was so into that movie that I gotta thank Doug for taking that moment away. But we're gonna see Rey back. And like I said, my story was more focused. I really wanted to be a down gritty type story. I wanted Poe to be settled off somewhere. I wanted Rey to get a message that Finn is dead, quotations. You know, he was found dead and everything like that. So that gets to her. So her and Poe team back up and they go off and try to find out what happened. And they find out that Poe's not dead. You know, we got a new threat in the galaxy, somebody that's kind of Thrawn-like, that's trying so hard to rebuild the First Order of the Empire, but it's failing on many levels too. So we got two characters on this, on the same coin. You got Rey, who's failing over here, trying to rebuild a Jedi Order that does the galaxy really need the Jedi? Because they've been in such peace ever since the Battle of Exegol. The galaxy has been fine. But Rey has this burden of trying to keep to the Skywalker name, trying to rebuild this Jedi temple. Her best friend BB-8's gonna die in this, and then pushing her narrative forward. And she meets the antagonist who is trying his hard, but failing on so many levels. But they both are just going to hate each other because of course, the First Order, Jedi and stuff like that. And I was really trying to tie those together. Then when they announced they're doing her movie's going to be after the Rise of Skywalker, featuring Daisy Ridley as she builds a new Jedi Order, I was like, damn. I was beaten to the punch, because honestly, one of the biggest reasons I was like, I really wanted to write a story, something after the Rise of Skywalker, because there's been nothing. There has been nothing, no mention. Yeah, sure, we've gotten those little cool Lego thingies, with Life Day and stuff like that. There's the summer beach one, there was a Halloween one, and there was a Christmas one. But I was like, I like these characters. I like Finn, I like Poe, I like Rey. I want to see them more, because with the sequel trilogy, they really, at the end of the movie, they're like, oh yeah, we're all friends now. It's just like, well, you really didn't go on a journey together, did you? You started in Force Awakens, you all met each other, and no. Take that back. Poe did not meet Rey until Last Jedi. Then they had some weird look at each other like, ooh, who are you? Ooh, who are you? So there's another one of those things that I feel like I really wanted to focus and hone in on that story. But obviously we're gonna go back, and I'm glad Daisy Ridley's back. I'm hoping Finn and Poe are coming back as well, because I like those characters so much that I want to see them back back into it. But I know John Boyega really had a bad time with this batch of Star Wars movies and all the controversy out of that. We had Mr. Luke Skywalker himself get all pissy with The Last Jedi, and just so many bad things have been going on with Star Wars, and I'm just hoping, I'm just like, I can't wait to be on the big screen and seeing we're going to the galaxy, because that's where Star Wars is, and Star Wars belongs in my eyes, is on the big screen. As much as I love the Disney Plus series, I'm like, I need to go to the movies. And then they announced and they showed this beautiful poster art for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and it's going to go back into theaters. Not my theater, because my theater's not cool. Harkins, up here in Flagstaff, Arizona. You know what's funny? I was going to tweet about that because they showed the poster and I was like, oh my gosh, look at the art. Just, Luke standing there, Palpatine, little Palpatine at the bottom, and Vader there, Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, this is sexy. I need this right here with my posters. I got New Hope. I got Empire Strikes Back. I was like, man, then I'll move my Dark Knight poster somewhere else. But right there would go that poster for Return of the Jedi. I was like, I need to see this in the theaters. And when Clerks 3 came out, it says it was a Fathom event or whatever, Fathom, whatever they call it. And they're like, oh, it's only going to be in select theaters, blah, 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 blah. I remember being like, yeah, but not ours, because Harkins sucks. Harkins replied back to me saying, hey, we're working on this and that. I was like, yeah, sure. And guess what? We got Clerks 3 in the theater. I was at our theater, and we never get anything cool. Like when they do like wrestling pay-per-view events, they have them in the theaters at Harkins. They don't do that up here. Like I was like, man, that would be really cool to go watch like an AEW pay-per-view on the big screen of a movie theater. I think that'd be fantastic, or I want to see Return of the Jedi on the big screen. That'd be cool too. But I was really tempted to do that tweet again to Harkins, be like, maybe I can push the narrative and be like, hey, you guys better not suck. 40th anniversary, Return of the Jedi on the big screen, baby. And plus, too, I haven't checked the dates on the Harkins app. So, a lot of Star Wars stuff going on. We still got Ahsoka and that trailer. Oh my God, I'm a big fan of Star Wars Rebels. Like seeing those characters come to life on the big screen, like Cad Bane, like all these things from like coming to life in live action is just like, oh, then Ahsoka, and I'm like, oh, then Thrawn, and I'm like, fuck, oh. And everyone's like, man, Dave Filoni's movie better be titled Heir to the Empire. But I'm like, yes, bitch, yes, give me more. Oh. So a lot of Star Wars. Feels good to get it off my chest because, like I said, I've been my chafing, my Star Wars chafing was getting at me. What are you excited about this news? Are you excited for more Star Wars in your life? Like I am more excited about this than I am about Marvel projects. Like I'm kind of marveled out after Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like I'm just like, all right, I'm taking a little bit of a break, but with Star Wars, I can never take a break. Never. I did for all the building up to WrestleMania, but after hearing all this news, and then Star Wars Celebration is going to be in Japan in 2025. Fucking cool. Like, yeah, and hopefully we get one of these movies by then. That's 2 years. 2 years, folks. And as much as I'm like, it's just like, damn, do I really want to get this excited? Yeah, I better. Yeah. So tell me what you thought of the news. Drop those comments below. Welcome to the Sexy Ninja Cast. I promise more Sexy Ninja Casts are on the way. Like I said, it just feels good pouring out. I got my Mando shirt on, about to go watch a movie. So life is grand, folks. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, drop those comments below, share C Plus Studios with everybody. Let them know that I'm here rocking with y'all. Go get yourself our awesome mascot. He's right there on the screen, the true Sexy Ninja created by Katie. So much Star Wars. What's the Star Wars news that got you pumped? We also have video games like the Jedi Order, Fallen Order, Survivor coming. So there's so much Star Wars, and my happiness, and comic books wise too. They said there some Dark Horse comics are coming too, and I was like, yeah, Dark Horse. So share with your grandma, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and as always, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop! Welcome to the wicked shit. Oh, yeah.